Hello, this is Emily. Welcome back to my channel, and we kind of have a bit of a different setup today because I'm actually going to be doing a unhaul video, and so I'm going to go through a whole bunch of books that I'm getting ready to unhaul. I am moving in about a month, so since I have like over probably close to 900 books here in my apartment, and that's going to be a lot of books to move with. So to kind of help alleviate that stress of trying to move all these books into a smaller space where I'm moving to, I won't have as much room. I am unhauling a bunch of these books. Basically, what I'm unhauling are either books that I don't think I'm ever going to read again, or I didn't really like, or kind of lost interest in. So I'm just going to go through all those books with you guys today, and maybe do a brief explanation or not sure. Depends on how long this video is going to be because there are a lot of books. So first I'm going to start with one of these boxes I have in my floor. You can't see it because it's down here and I don't feel like shifting the camera. So I'm just going to go through this box real quick and kind of show you what I'm unhauling. So I have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I read it. It was okay. Probably won't reread it again. I have The Client by Josh Grisham. I got this as one of my challenges to read the top books that were on the New York Times bestsellers list the day I was born. Read it, didn't care for it. It's going to Goodwill or donations or whatever. Next, I had the first 3 books in the Night Runner series. Really loved the first one. Second one was so-so. Third one, I liked it, but not enough to want to continue on with reading it. Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstances. I enjoyed it. Probably won't reread it though. Night Tiger. Enjoyed it. Probably won't reread. Sam's Letters to Jennifer. Someone handed this to me at work because they know I like to read. But it's not really something I normally read, so I'll probably give it to someone that will actually read it. Split Tooth. Notice some of these have prices on there. I did have a yard sale and got rid of some books, so I won't show everything in this haul video, the books that have already been sold. But these are, so just disregard the stickers. But anyway, Split Tooth. Read it. It was weird. Don't care to reread it. Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now by Maya Angelou. Read it. It was okay. Was one of the books on my books to read that were popular the day I was born. Probably won't reread it. An Illusion of Thieves. Bought it. Never read it. Sat on my shelf for 2 years. So probably won't ever read it. So I'm getting rid of it because I just lost interest in it. Unless someone says I should check it out. If you see anything of these I mentioned that I haven't read yet, that I'm unhauling, and you think I might enjoy them, comment down below and I might give them a second shot. A Demon in Silver. Tried reading the first couple chapters, just couldn't get it in with the writing style, so it's going. The Lost Queen. Bought it. Sat on my shelf forever. Still haven't gone to reading it, so I'm getting rid of it. The Decameron was a classic. Found it in a thrift store. Read it. Thought it was weird. Couldn't really get into it. Didn't know what was going on, so it's going. The City We Became. Read it. Wasn't too impressed with it. Believe her other works are better, so go ahead and get rid of it. The Glittering Hour. Read it. Wasn't really my cup of tea. It just felt kind of flat, so. Baby Teeth. Read it. Enjoyed it. Probably won't reread it. Game Board of the Gods. Haven't read it. Bought it. Didn't realize the series was never fully published, and I really don't want to start an incomplete series that has no idea if it's ever going to actually be complete or not. Practical Demon Keeping. Read it. It was okay, but not my favorite work of his. This Time Next Year. Read the first couple chapters. Just didn't care much for it, so it's going. Okay, moving on to my second box. I have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I actually own the Barnes & Noble special edition book of this that's like bound together, so there's no point in having 2 copies of the books, even though I do love these book series. Giglamesh. Read it a couple times, probably won't reread it again, so I'm going to get rid of it. Midnight in Chernobyl. Read it, it was alright. Non-fiction, probably won't reread it. So Dracula. I read it, it was alright. However, I want to collect the Paper Mills Classic version of this to kind of match the rest of my classics look, so I'm going to get rid of this. Scarlet Letter. Read it, didn't care for it. Crownbreaker. Haven't read it yet. Bought this thinking it was the smaller edition. Ended up reordering the book in the smaller spread edges edition, so there's no point in having 2 copies. Where am I eating? Don't mind the tabs. I was a peer mentor in college. Was required to read this book to have a discussion about it. In my APSU 1000 class, I helped mentor. So probably won't read it again, but it's a pretty interesting read if you do want to check it out. The Other Westmore. This was the required P read for all incoming freshmen my year. Read it. It was okay. Probably won't ever reread it. The Outsiders. Read it. Didn't like it. Not going to keep it. Silas Marner. Read it back in high school. Probably won't reread it. It was alright. Don't really remember what it was about. The Old Man and the Sea. Also read it in high school. Probably won't ever reread it. It was an alright book. The Maze Runner and the Scourge Trials. I read the first book, didn't care much for it. Don't really want to continue on with the series. Stormcrow. Bought it. Thinking the cover was pretty, but never got around to reading it. Said I'm a TBR forever, and I decided to unhaul it. The Knockout Queen was one of my Book of the Month picks. Still been sitting on my shelf for ages. Just don't care for it. Crown of Feathers. Another book that's been sitting on my TBR for ages and haven't got around to reading it. This next few are all owl crates. I know they're kind of limited edition. However, I didn't care much for the books despite the pretty covers. And there's no point keeping books I didn't really like, even if they are pretty. Even though they are pretty and I want to display them, I don't have the space to display them. First, All the Stars and Teeth. Read it. It was okay. Don't plan on continuing on with the series. Bone Crier's Moon. Love the sprayed edges. Read it. Don't feel like continuing on with the series. It was mediocre. Kingdom of Baggins. Such a pretty book. So shiny. But it fell flat for me. Incendiary. That's a mouthful to try to say real fast. Tried reading the first couple chapters. Couldn't get into it. It's going. Ace of Shades. Read it. Didn't care much for it. The Sculptor. Read it. Liked it. Probably won't reread it. Witchy. Read it. Liked it. Again, probably won't reread it. Lord Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. Read it. It was alright. Probably won't reread it. A Study in Emerald. It's by Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite authors. However, I didn't care much for this graphic novel adaptation. Now that I've gone through all my boxes, I'm going to start digging out books from these 2 shelves behind me and kind of giving you a brief overview. So these shelves are going to start looking very bare soon. Next, Fierce Fairy Tales. Read it. It was okay. Poetry. Probably won't reread it. The Nixia trilogy. Really enjoyed it. Good sci-fi. Probably won't ever reread it though. I got His Dark Materials, the first 2 books, and The Book of Dust, the continuation. Read the first one. Didn't care much for it. Probably won't ever continue on reading with the series, so these are going. Pax. Thought it was a cute read. Very anticlimactic. Probably won't ever reread it. The Witches. Childhood favorite. However, probably never going to reread it again. The Cruel Prince. Really enjoyed it. However, I've never picked up the second or third book in the series and probably never will after 2 years of finishing this one. First two books in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. Really, they were both really good. I had the third book. I already got rid of the third book to my cousin. Thought these are all right. However, stories started getting very repetitive after, and I just didn't feel like continuing on after I read the third book. The Peculiar Pegs of Riddling Woods. That is a tongue twister right there. Read it. Thought it was cute. Really pretty cover. Love the sprayed edges. However, probably won't ever reread it again. A Pinch of Magic and A Sprinkle of Sorcery. Bought these. They've been sitting on my TBR forever. Probably won't ever get around to reading them. Peter Nimble and His Fantastic Eyes and Sophie Quire and The Last Story Guard. Bought these. Been on my TBR forever. Probably ain't ever going to read them. The Silence of Bones. Read it. Was enjoyable. Kind of predictable. Probably won't reread. Anatomy of a Murderer. Been on my TBR forever. Never got around to reading. Probably won't ever do so. Starfish. Another one that's been on my TBR for a while and I've just lost interest in. Uprooted and Spinning Silver. Such pretty covers. Enjoyed them. Probably won't reread them. The Shadow of the Fox trilogy. Really pretty covers. Read them. Probably won't reread them. Felt like the ending kind of wrapped up too fast and flat. The Supervillain and Me. Read it. Cute read. Probably won't reread it. Fox. Read it. It was alright. Won't reread. Dreadnought and Sovereign. Really loved Dreadnought. Sovereign, I just DNF'd halfway through. I wasn't really vibing with the story and it just kind of got annoying to read for me. The School for Good and Evils, books 1 through 4. Really enjoyed the first 3 books in the trilogy. Fourth one, that kind of continued on after the trilogy ended, was really redundant and annoying. Won't reread. For Everyone, Jason Reynolds. Inspirational kind of poetry. Probably won't reread. Mary Poppins. Loved the movie. Didn't care as much for the book. Probably won't reread. 3 Wishes. Someone gave this to me at work. Not really my genre. Probably won't read. Dead Until Dark. Read it. Did not like it. Will not continue on with this series. The first 3 books in Wicked. Really loved the first 2. Third one bored me. Probably won't ever reread. Geekerella. It was alright. Very predictable. I don't think I even finished this one. The Boy in the Black Suit. Again, it was alright. Not really my forte. Probably won't ever reread again. Dry. Set on my TBR forever. Probably won't ever read it. On the Come Up. Enjoyed it. Won't reread. Diva. Been on my TBR for a while. Lost interest in it. Probably won't ever read it. Fahrenheit 451. I bought a new, bigger copy than this one. Don't need 2. Fangirl. Really enjoyed it. Probably won't ever reread it, though. Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. Trying to say that without stumbling over the words. Read it. Enjoyed it as a kid. Don't think I'll enjoy it now that I'm an adult, though. Fighting Destiny. Have the first copy in paperwork. Have the other 2 books in Kindle. Kind of read the next 2 and just kind of lost interest in the series. Probably won't ever reread, so why should I keep this copy? Bird Box. Read it. Didn't like it. Don't want it. Ugly Love. Read it. It was alright. Kind of predictable and cheesy. Probably won't ever reread it. Last one. Little Fires Everywhere. Tried reading it. Got about 50 pages in. Just wasn't getting into the story. DNF'd. Whew. The Aftermath. 100 books. Whew. That was a workout. So I just got rid of about 100 books. So that's 100 less books that I will be moving with in the next month. Still have a lot of books, but a lot of these I just don't want to part with because I really love them and hope maybe one day I'll get around to rereading them when I get my current TBR. That's also pretty massive down a bit. So I am proud of myself that I was able to get myself to part with so many books because I do love to collect them because they're so pretty and stuff. However, remembering how much of a hassle it was to move last time with all these books, getting these many off my shelves is a plus. And then I'm trying not to buy any books right now until after I've moved in and settled into my new place, because books are heavy to move. I don't know if you ever moved a whole bunch of books, but it's a workout. But other than that, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you see me unhauling any of these books that you think I should give a second chance, feel free to leave a comment down below and I might try to read it again and see if I can change my opinion and want to keep it. However, I've learned a lot of these like young adults reads, which is the majority of what I'm unhauling. I've just outgrown that genre and don't really care about some of them because I felt like a lot of young adult stuff has gotten pretty repetitive and tropey. So if there's not really anything new being brought to the table, I just lose interest trying to read it. But that's it for today's video. Now that I've rambled on for I don't know how long, feel free to click the like and subscribe button if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys next time.